Hello and welcome to the Musty Game Dev. We are a channel that focuses on game development. Right now we are working on a UEFN island. So thank you for watching this video. Thanks for joining the community. Let's get into it today. We're going to continue our project here, which is kind of turned into a Dominion island, I believe. Yes. So right here, I'm going to duplicate this item spawner here using Alt Move, and we're going to just keep this the same for the pickup. And then we're going to go to this item spawner, which just spawns ammo every once in a while on a 10-second timer, I think. We're going to Alt Move that one. And if you've been following along, you should have all this set up already. If you don't have it, then you can definitely check out the previous tutorials. So we'll do a save all, and we want to launch a session, but actually I want to test this with multiplayer. So I want to bring in a team member, and for me to do that, I've been working on this playground island by myself, so I need to share it with a team, and I have an existing team. So I'm gonna click existing teams here. And the existing team is Team ACORN, which was the team that developed and published Desert Acorn, which you can play. You hit transfer ownership here in the creator portal. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comments. If you want to join the Discord, you can reach me there in real time. So that transfer process was pretty quick, but we'll just double check here. And we'll switch to Team Acorn, and there's Desert Acorn, and there's Playground. Alright, so now we go to project, and now we can go to upload to private version. We're going to hit save all first. We're going to check in everything first as well. So just make a little change. List description. More guns and ammo for the other players. That's right. And we have 4 player spawn pad devices. As you can see, we only have 2 guns available at the beginning. So obviously I'll fix all that when I actually publish this island. But for the purposes of this tutorial series, just pick it up. So we'll set this as alpha 0.1, upload to private version. It goes by pretty quickly. This part of the process is actually really well done by Epic, and I like it a lot. Obviously, launching a session, getting into a session takes a while, but this part of the process is pretty quick. And so now I have a private version here. There's island code. And now the reason why I did this is because I want to have, there's Quimbot, one of my teammates, to play alongside me in a private multiplayer session. And you can only do that with the team. Right, so you can have the island code, but you can't join the sessions, unless you are on the team. And so going to adding teammates is a different process. If you need me to make a video about that, let me know. But it's pretty seamless if you have an Epic Games account, and I think you have to be above the legal age of 18. So just shoot some zombies here. And so what am I playtesting here? I'm playtesting to see the tracker complete for me, and checking in with my teammate to see if the tracker completed for them. And so the tracker is actually completing per agent or per player. So that's also something to know. Like the game design for a single player experience versus the game design for a multiplayer experience. So as you can see, the capturing device still works. Any of the teammates can capture and trigger the captured event. So now we triggered the capture event here. We're gonna continue shooting some zombies. And like before in last week's tutorial, once we captured this area, then the creature spawner that's spawning the zombies will be destroyed, and we would have freed this area. So kind of like, is it Dominion or Domination? I think it's Domination. I keep forgetting. but just kind of like you're going to different areas, you take out the enemies, you capture area, and you kind of take it as your own. That's kind of the mechanic that we're working with. And then now we have the loot drops here working just fine. And it's cool because now there's loot drops for everybody. So what we're going to do here, we're going to expand on this a little bit, add some extra code, and then we'll do some more landscaping. And not a lot's happening in this video, but it's kind of a setup for the completed island. So add a comment here with the use of the hashtag symbol, and add some global variables here. We're adding a variable called players, which is going to be of type a player array. And so we'll look into some of the documentation about this, but let's also add a variable called player map, which will be of type player. So it'll be a type map that is a key of player and a value of int. That's what that means. And so these are two different container types, as they call them, or in traditional computer science it'd be called data structures. An array is a sequential order of items that are usually of the same type. So in this case it would be the type of player. And then a map, or in some cases called a hash map in other languages, or in other languages called a dictionary, is a key value pair system where the key says, okay, it has to be unique, and it gives you the value at the unique location. So if you Google for the UEFN verse language reference, then you can kind of see the whole language put together here on this documentation. And there's a lot here that I would like to explore in future videos, just kind of walking through this and doing examples. But there's a couple sections here that are interesting in more like the end of this reference, so modules and paths. So a verse module is just like essentially saying, here's a portion of code that can be used in other larger portions of code, and that's kind of helpful to understand like how the verse code that's we're using here as a reference. So like there are these modules here, like the UI module, and that can be imported into our code that we can use as a reference for other stuff, right? So that's like a very small explanation, but I just wanted to touch on that for a quick second. But also what we're really getting into is the container types, right? So we talked about option, right? Option, good friend option. There's range. There's also a tuple or a tuple, but array and a map, right? So an array, you have a set of variables of the same type in a collection that are in a sequential order that you can like reference via an index number. So if you have an array of 10, 20, and 30, you can reference the 10 with the 0 index, and the 20 with the 1 index, and the 30 with the 2 index. Then the map, like I said before, is a key value pair container type. So in this instance, it's a map. Word count is a map of string key or key string and value int. But ours here is going to be a player map of key player and a value int. And I'll go over that. I can go over that more, like how I'm using it in a future video. But I want to like kind of push through and publish this island first, and then maybe kind of come back and like look over what I did to get there. But essentially what you could use this for is you get the players from get play space, which is given to us from the Fortnite digest.verse code or module. And that allows us to access all the players that are in the Fortnite island in that session. You can also get the teams, and you can also see when a player has been added or removed. And those events, like we've worked with before, you can subscribe to those events and then do certain actions based on those events happening. So we get the players, and then we save that into our global variable players, which again is of type player array. All right, so I'm gonna create this function, add new player. I'll make it of, let's see, a modifier type, I think it's called private. And then it will take on a parameter of type player called player. And it's going to return void at this point. And like we looked at before, or not before. Yeah, so if you want to set up a map and set up a new player within this map, like essentially adding a new entry into this dictionary map key value pair, you need to set it within a failable expression or an if statement here in this case. So set player map and then put in the key of player, and then we're going to set it equal to 0. And so as you see here with the print statement, this is just a way, if you wanted to track the individual player scores, even though this is a collaborative Fortnite island, this is like co-op, I think it'd be kind of cool to track like individual points, or if you wanted to, you can do a virtual currency for like purchasing better guns and more ammo later on in the game. And then now we have this function, popular players, which is going to be a modifier type private. And we're going to do a for loop through the players, right? So we have the players array, and we're going to add new entries, new key value pairs, and kind of just set up the player map. Probably should have called it populate players map maybe. But yeah, we're kind of using a lot of expressions here. We're going to save that. And this is return type of void. So we're not gonna actually return anything. We're just gonna use the global variables, so we don't have to pass anything in or get anything back. So we're just gonna call populate players here within the onBegin method or function. And then if they're, so this is kind of handles like the initial setup for players. So if you have like a squad of like 3 that get into the session, and right now we just have a total squad number of 4. Let's say a third person jumps in. We want to subscribe to player added event and then listen for that event and have that function add new player, listen for that event, and then add that player to the player map. So we're handling 2 different things. We're handling the beginning where we have all the players. Let's say there's a player added later on. We want to add them to our player map so we can track their score as well. So now we're going to open up Fab here. And we're going to look for some stuff because I want to pretty up this island, change it up a little bit. It looks kind of basic. Just kind of add an item here. I'm not a level designer. I will never claim to be, but I do like designing levels. I think it's like one of the most therapeutic things you can do in the world. It's essentially like Lego building, but in a digital space. So here I'm choosing this beach wood debris model, and I'm going to change the license to UEFN, and it's completely free. So I just add the content browser. I need to agree to some things here and accept the license. And it kind of takes a while, so I'm gonna skip ahead here because it actually took a while. for this part to happen, which I was kind of concerned with. I was like, man, if I want to add multiple things, it'll take a really long time. All right, so we skipped ahead. And now we're going to add this model to our island. And it looks very tiny and small. So you can always press F to zoom in. And then we're going to back out here a little bit. And as you can see, it looks very small. It's like inconsequential. So we're going to scale it up from the middle here. So you can scale all 3 axes at the same time, X, Y, and Z. So you click in the middle and then kind of pull, and I believe in the right direction that I'm doing, to kind of scale it up. We'll just keep scaling, keep scaling. Keep scaling, keep scaling. We're gonna use the move tool here, move it up a little bit. This is kind of like the fun part, right? Just kind of like you're just making a world kind of come together, right? I don't really have a design. I'm not really an artist like that. I just want to like move stuff, put it in the world, and then see it when I run past it with my avatar or jump over it. I just thought it'd be kind of cool to add. Move it a little closer here. Now I'm gonna rotate it. Let's rotate it. And why am I doing this? I don't know. There's definitely an artist out there that can explain like how certain things make you feel when you play a game and why you would add this here at this point and what you're trying to say, what's the vibe you're trying to create. I'm not that person. I'm more of a programmer, but you know, it is what it is. I just really enjoy this part of game development. All right, so we'll save all here, and then let's jump into landscape, and let's do some sculpting or some painting first. Yeah, do some painting first. Decrease the brush size. You just follow along, but this is really where you can kind of customize and experiment on your own. And again, I'm just having fun here, so if my artwork offends you, I don't apologize. Just do something better, because my stuff is not the best. And also here I'm just experimenting with different layers just to see what happens. Thank you for watching. This episode 4 will be the conclusion of this course, and then I'm just gonna take probably a couple weeks here to finish this island and publish it, kind of put it all together. Then I can make a video, kind of like a conclusion video off of that, and then all of you can ask questions. And if you need more details about how I did certain things, how I completed it or published it, got it ready for publishing, please let me know. Put in the comments, join the Discord, and you know, feel free. Like, making videos and putting all this stuff together is a lot of work, but you know, I can just hop on to a voice call. We can screen share, we can walk through stuff, walk through code, and figure things out together. Obviously there's more stuff in Verse and UEFN I want to get to, such as UI and the sequencer, so look forward to, you know, I'll make some videos on those things later. Really more about programming UI than about like UI and graphic design and stuff like that. I think just, you know, using code to put a user interface on the screen for the player, that's what I really will be focusing on. And yeah, let me know what other videos you want to see. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I'll put out some shorts, but yeah, this will be my last long form video for at least a week, and then I'll be back with some more content. But until then, join the Discord. The link is in the description, and stay musty.